Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Wednesday. What are we going to learn today? Well, you have already learned last week rather, that the metric unit has units of length, and we learned the centimeter, the millimeter being the smallest unit of length, the centimeter, the decimeter, the meter, and the kilometer. Well, today we're going to learn the metric units of capacity. Remember, what is capacity? How much liquid fits inside a container. In the metric system, we have 2 units of capacity. Instead of many more that we have in our system, we only have 2. In the metric system, we have the milliliter, just like the millimeter was the smallest unit of length. The milliliter is the smallest unit in the metric system of capacity. And the liter is the largest unit of capacity. In length, the meter and the kilometer were the largest units. In capacity, the liter is the largest unit. There's only 2, which makes it very easy. Now, to get an idea what a milliliter is, we're going to use a dropper. Look over here. A medicine dropper would be an example of a milliliter. So what would we use a milliliter for? Very small amounts of liquid. Let me give you an example. See, this is a milliliter. This is 1 milliliter, which is a dropper. Just basically, it's as if it was 20 drops of water, just to give you an idea, very little. And what would fit here would also be, so let's see if we pour this here, all right? It almost fills it, almost to the line. That would be a milliliter. Actually, this is an actual milliliter. So you can see both of those for very small amounts. And just to compare it to our system, in our system, an ounce, if you look at an ounce, is the smallest amounts that we have in the customary system, which is a little more. Let me show you here. Oh, yeah, of course, we can see. Here we are, boys and girls. That's an ounce. See that? That's the smallest that we have in a customary system, which is a liquid ounce is very little, and yet a milliliter is even less than that. It's literally 20 drops of water, hardly anything. So what do we use to measure this? Very small amounts of water. If we're going to serve ourselves a cup of water, we will use milliliters. Medicine, we will use milliliters. Anything that would be used for small amounts of liquid. Now let's go to the liter, which is the largest measuring capacity, and it is used for larger amounts of liquid. And to give you an idea, if this were filled, think of it all the way filled, this milk jug is a quart. And a liter, let's see what it says here at the bottom, a liter is a little more than this quart. But this is a great idea of what a liter is. To give you an idea, it is this. So what will we use this measurement for? Well, much larger things. Anything bigger than that, a jug of water. When we go to the store, have you ever bought a 2-liter bottle of Coke, those plastic big ones? Those are 2 liters. So those are 2 of those, as if it were 2 quarts. If you were to fill your bathtub with water, what would you use? Liters, definitely not milliliters, or you get old trying to fill it up with this. So it's very easy because you can distinguish them. This is very small and this is much larger. Those are the 2 basic measures in the metric system. To get 1 liter, boys and girls, you would need 1,000 milliliters to get to a liter. So you would need 1,000 of these to fill up this liter. That's how little the milliliter is. So what we're going to do today, we're not going to have to make conversions with the metric system, but we're just going to look at some items and decide whether we will use the milliliter or whether we will use the liter. Let's look at page 276, which is what we're going to be doing today. 276 and 277, we're going to work on numbers 1 through 15. And let's do what we always do, which is to do a few. Let's just do a few. All right, let's see this. Try number 1. All right, let's look at number 1. It says, the directions say, write less than a liter, about a liter, or more than a liter for each. So we're gonna decide if the glass of juice, number one, is we would use less than a liter, about a liter, or more than a liter. So let's see, number one, the glass of juice. Think of how much liquid would fit in there. Would you say that that's less than a liter? So less than this, about a liter, about this amount, or more than this amount? Well, if you guess less than, you are correct, because that's just a glass of juice. So that would be less than a liter. So we're going to put less than, and you can put the abbreviation for liter if you want, which is the capital L, less than a liter. So that would be a glass of water, because this would not be a glass of anything. This is a pretty big jug if you're just drinking a glass. So definitely less than a liter. A ver, let's try number two. Well, there's a pool. If you were to fill a pool with water, which would you use? Do you think that would fill less than a liter, about a liter, or more than a liter? If you said more than a liter, you are correct. So let's put more than a liter. All right, that's how we're gonna do the rest of that section. Once we get to page 277, then they want you to choose milliliter or liter. It's a little higher. All right.
The symbol, is that correct?
Liter, yes, that is the symbol of the capital.
Oh, I thought you were doing more than or less than.
No, the capital L is the
Okay.
technical difficulty, boys and girls. That's okay. Communication with my cameraman. Yes, it looked a little bit like a less than sign, but it is the capital L, which is the symbol for liter. All right. Okay, so on the next page, 277, what we're going to decide between 7 and 12. Number 7 through 12 is whether we're gonna measure a milliliter or we're gonna use a liter. Let's just do one there. Let's try number 7. Let's skip over to number 7 so we can do number 7 together. It says the liquid in a test tube. So think of a test tube, it's something similar to this. It's a tube scientists would use to test, or when they take your blood out and they put it in these tubes, that would be a test tube. What do you think we would use? A liter or a milliliter? A milliliter, you are correct, boys and girls. You are very, very, very smart. You are correct. A milliliter. And then finally, from 13 to 15, we're just going to estimate which of the 3 options you think would make sense there. This is pretty easy, boys and girls. What do you think? Milliliter or liter? Very, very small, much bigger. All right, boys and girls, let me put that milk in the refrigerator before it goes bad. And I will see you on Friday when we learn metric units of weight. Bye, boys and girls.